Dun 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 dun. That's it. We got it. Hello, friends. It is Nomad Brad coming to you from my box truck, hanging out in the box truck, living my life on my own terms in Arizona, enjoying the beautiful weather today. Sunny, warm, high of 70, high 70s, maybe 79. I want to thank everybody for joining me this evening. We're going to be hanging out. There's no big agenda. We're just going to be talking about van life stuff. And I think I'm going to cook some dinner tonight. So if you guys want to join me, I'm going to cook up some ground beef and some instant mashed potatoes and then make a little cucumber salad. Figured that'd be a little more interesting than me just sitting here staring into the camera. So we'll do that in a minute. I just wanted to kind of say hello, see what's going on with everybody. I'm monitoring the chat on my laptop. So I'll be looking down a little bit, but I will be here with you guys. Actually, maybe I can do this. Let me see. Maybe I can put the camera behind the laptop and then it's not off to the side. We'll try that out. Let me know how the volume is, by the way, my friends. Um, Using the wireless microphone tonight. And so I just want to make sure the audio is good, buttery smooth, as good as it can be. Jumping into the chat, we got Super Dave here. Hello, Super Dave. Happy to have you. Real Cruz is in the chat. Thank you, Real Cruz. Good to see you. Diana Saylor says audio is good. Thank you, Diana. I appreciate the feedback. Also, let me know how the video quality is. I'm using the Connect 10 Internet router. We are currently on the Verizon network, and it looked pretty good. I did an internet test. It said 35 down, 22 up, which is pretty good. Let me know if it's terrible. We'll turn off the router and we'll use the AT&T built into my iPhone. So let me know how Verizon's looking tonight. Charles Serratos, hello Charles, happy to see you. He says video looks good, so we'll roll with it. I noticed in the chat a lot of people are saying prayers for Desert Drifter. David says the new mic is working good. Happy to hear it, David. Happy to hear you're enjoying it. I have did not know who Desert Drifter is. I had to look him up, but he is uh, a YouTuber, a pretty substantial YouTuber. Looks like he has like 500,000 subscribers, and apparently he was in a car accident. Let me look this up again. Desert Drifter. He was in a car accident recently, and he is in the hospital in critical condition. He was in a car accident in Flagstaff, Arizona. And you can Google it or look it up on YouTube. There's a couple of videos that cover it. There's some photos of the crash. It's pretty gnarly. He was in a car, like a little Honda Civic or something, and the whole front end is just demolished. So, uh, it's good reminder that when you're traveling all about the country, it's good to be in a larger vehicle that's a little bit more substantial. And if you do come into some kind of a head-on collision, the larger the vehicle and the more metal that's between you and the other vehicle, the better off your chances are. And so I've seen a lot of people just from the real world that mention that when it comes to vehicles for their family and their loved ones, they always recommend, SUVs or pickup trucks or something a little bit larger, just so in the case of an accident, you have better chances of survival. And so it looks like if Desert Drifter was in something a little larger, he might be in better shape. But we wish him the best. No ill will here. I hope he recovers, and hopefully, the brain injury is not too serious. But that's a bad place to be. It is risky driving a car. A lot of car accidents are probably one of the most common accidents you could get into as an American. And as vehicle dwellers, we're in vehicles a lot more than any other average American. We're in our vehicles sometimes all day, driving very frequently in different places, unknown places. And so it's just a good reminder to try to be safe, be cautious, and drive a big vehicle and put a lot of steel between you and whatever might come in front of you. So our thoughts and prayers are going out to Desert Drifter and his family. Hope for a speedy recovery. Will Ty is in the chat. He's also given his prayers out to Desert Drifter. Charles Serratos, the same. Uh, the Nomad Tim says 79 was the high. here in Arizona, currently 69. It's still warm here in Arizona. What's interesting is 2 weeks ago it was cold. It was a high temperature of like high 60s. It was dropping into the 50s or 40s at night. And literally, it went from being cold like that to 2 days later, all of a sudden, I'm here in Yuma. All of a sudden, now it's in like the high 80s, low 90s during the day. Not today, but in the past, in the last couple of days. And so Arizona doesn't play around. Arizona kind of goes from winter and then uh, Arizona kind of goes from winter and then into summer. There's not really much of a spring in between. And then same on the backside, the fall season doesn't really exist. It goes from blazing hot to all of a sudden it gets pretty cold. So that's okay. I'll take it. Happy to be here. Loving the good weather right now. I know a lot of the country is freezing. I saw some of the people in the chat. Will Ty says Kentucky is 37 degrees, high humidity because of rain. 60s in the forecast. So Kentucky's cold. All the Northwest, Oregon, Washington, I'm sure it's cold and rainy. It rains like 8 months out of the year up there. I'm sure Diana Saylor over in Missouri is probably pretty chilly. So hopefully you guys are staying comfortable. Charlie Pepin in the chat. Hello, Charlie. Happy to see you here. Dedicated supporter, Charlie Pepin. What do we got? What do we got? AJ's in the chat. AJ Scoggins, if you guys watched the video last Sunday, my recap of Schoolie Palooza. Unfortunately, I did not get any video of AJ. He was busy working. I was busy working. We kind of missed each other, but we did have fun by the campfire. So if you look closely, AJ and his girl Chrissy are there sitting by the campfire. We had a great time. Happy to see AJ here hopping in the chat. And what else we got? Adventures with Super Dave says, I go to get my 89 E350 17-foot U-Haul this month. Happy to hear it. Super Dave's been on this journey for a long time now. And I'm happy to see he's stepping into a box truck and looking forward to see what he does with it. We got Scott in the chat. Hello, Scott. Happy to see you. Scott's going to be coming out west here in just a few weeks. So Scott got himself I think a 17-foot box truck. It's on an Econoline chassis. It's a diesel engine. And he's going to be coming out west end of February. And I'm going to be doing some electrical work for him and maybe some other work. And he's going to be looking at having a full conversion done. So excited to add one more member to the box truck community. We're just building them up, rolling them out, adding friends and family. It's pretty exciting to see. And so, Scott, if you're here still watching, I was able to complete your diagram today, your installation or your component wiring diagram, and I got a materials list together. So I will be doing one final review tomorrow morning, and then I'll send that information over to you. Send you a big long email with all kinds of instructions and feedback, so you can get the Amazon orders rolling and get some product for your build before you head out west. Jeffrey Petty in the chat says video looks good. Jeffrey Petty also says, hey, Brad, it's my first time in your live chat. Give me a shout out. Jeffrey Petty, here's your shout out, my friend. Thank you for joining. Happy to have you here. The live chats are fun. We talk a lot. There's a lot of back and forth. It's a good opportunity to ask questions, just see what it's actually like to live in a vehicle. I'm in my box truck right now. You can see there's my bed. It's in bed mode. Got my air conditioner up there. I'm at my computer desk. I got my kitchen in the back, espresso machine. We're doing it in full nomad fashion. This is it. This is my house. This is where all the magic happens. So if I'm doing something, it's happening right here in my box truck. Arizona online in the chat. Hello, Slugworth. Hello, Mark Muni. What type of walls did you install inside your box truck? 2x4, 2x2, 1x2? Then what type of insulation? Mark, my man, Mark's got a question about the box truck build. I have some videos of it on my YouTube channel on my box truck build playlist. There's no framing in the walls. None, zero, no 2x2s, no 2x4s. So what I did is this box truck has vertical or horizontal slats that run along the wall. There's a slat up high, a slat in the middle, and a slat at the bottom. And so I filled the gaps with an inch and a half of rigid foam board insulation. And then I just threw up plywood and I screwed it right into those slats. That's it. So inch and a half of insulation in the walls and then plywood on top, 5/8 plywood. And then in some areas, like behind me here, there's a 1/8 inch panel board on top of the plywood for a little aesthetics. And then also down here, there's some panel board. But if you look behind me, this right here, this is bare plywood that's just painted. So no framing. And so for me, the goal for me when I'm doing a build out is to have the most interior wall space. So the more insulation and framing and stuff you add, that all takes away from your interior living space. So that's why I didn't frame it out. In general, when you're building a box truck, you don't ever need more than 2x2 wood construction. You don't need 2x4s. People go crazy and build out walls and cabinets with 2x4s. You don't need it. This whole van is built with 2x2s. All my upper cabinets, all my lower cabinets, everything is 2x2 construction. It's plenty sturdy, but it's a lot cheaper, a lot lighter weight than 2x4s. I've been living in here for 2 years. None of this has fallen down. Nothing has come apart. It's all built very solid. So if you have to build something, I recommend 2x2, and then you can use plywood, of course, as like a sheeting material. But that's it, man. We got John C in the chat. Happy to have you here, John C. John C says, I read the Facebook drama post with the guy who got arrested and drove over stuff. Hope you were not around that. And then he's waving hi to Cousin Lonnie. Cousin Lonnie's awesome. If you watched last Sunday's video, Cousin Lonnie got a little cameo and I helped him install his backup lights. Cousin Lonnie's a great guy. He just joined Nomad Life last year. He's got a Chinook RV. It's pretty badass. It's got a lift kit with Fox suspension, big off-road tires. It's a pretty cool rig. So you'll be seeing more Cousin Lonnie. He's got no plans of returning to Sticks and Bricks, and I enjoy spending time with him. So I'm thinking this summer I'll probably go visit him up in Prescott. That's where he spends most of his summers, Prescott, Arizona. So we'll see what happens, but Cousin Lonnie will be back. I did avoid the drama in general. Nomad Brad does not enjoy drama. Some people enjoy it. I don't judge. I had a girlfriend one time. I was telling my mom this the other day. We were kind of reminiscing, and I had this girlfriend I was dating back when I was like maybe 23, and she was always in on some drama and some gossip and this person did this and said that, and I was always get so upset with it because there's nothing gained from it. There's no one's learning anything. You're just stirring the pot and everyone's just talking shit about each other. And I got pissed at her and I said, I don't understand why you're always involved with this drama. It's pointless. And she just looked at me flat in the face and says, not everybody dislikes drama. Some of us enjoy it. And so I thought that was pretty crazy. That she just straight to my face was like, "Yeah, I enjoy drama and I like stirring the pot." So, needless to say, that relationship did not last. Personally, me, I don't enjoy drama. I just avoid it, and it makes for a smoother and more relaxing experience. But I know some people like conflict and they like the excitement and like the energy of the drama. And so if that's what you enjoy, that's fine. I don't judge, but it's just not for me. So I avoid it. It's easy to avoid if you want to avoid it. If you enjoy it, then that's where you'll be. Uh, Nick, going back to the chat, Nick is here. He says, "What's up, Brad? My van is parked until April, starting my seasonal job at baseball spring training in 2 weeks to fund my van travels." Hell yeah, dude. Nick, happy to hear it. That sounds like a pretty good gig, a seasonal job at baseball spring training. That sounds fun, you know? All of us, most of us have to work. I have to work. I'm working right now. But the key is to find work that you enjoy. And if you enjoy doing it, it's not really like work. Today, I put together an estimate for Scott. I was designing an electrical system. I was running calculations for solar panels and wire sizing and fuses. And I enjoy that kind of stuff. Some people would look at that and see it as a chore and not want to have to do it, but I love it. So I just think it's important to find stuff you enjoy doing and stuff that pays you uh, decently, and just do that, man. Life's short. Try to enjoy it. Don't get stuck. Don't get stuck doing something you hate doing just to pay the bills, which is why a lot of us are living in vehicles, right? I mean, I could be out grinding, working 70 hours a week as working some job I hate to pay mortgage on a house that I don't have time to enjoy, and buy cars and motorcycles I don't have time to use. I've lived that life before. I didn't enjoy it. Some people do enjoy it. It's not for me. And so that would be my advice: is if you're going to live in a van and cut back your expenses, do something you love. That's why we're here. Slugworth says, Brad, did you adjust the sale price of your rig? I did, yes. The van is still for sale. I lowered the price. I dropped it. The whole goal of selling the van, the only reason I'm selling the van is because I need to build a bigger van to haul all my solar equipment and tools and supplies. And so I need to just make sure that I get enough money from the sale of the van to pay for taxes, because when I sell the van, I'm going to take a big tax hit. So I got to cover taxes. And then I got to cover the cost of a new vehicle and all the stuff to build it out. And the new vehicle is going to be expensive. So that's it. I'm just trying to cover the cost of a new build. I did find some sweet deals on Isuzu NPR box trucks. I found a company in Phoenix that is selling multiple used NPRs, 2015 model years, diesel, 16-foot box with a lift gate with the 8-foot ceilings, 150,000 miles for $15,000. So I'm interested in buying one of those. I think it's a fair price. It's got plenty of life left on it, and it'd be a badass vehicle for me to build out. So I dropped the price on my rig because finding a cheaper potential rig to buy just means I need less money to make that happen. So I dropped the price. I'm hoping that it sells this month. I really need to sell it in February or March. If it doesn't sell by March, I'm going to raise the price back up, because at that point, I'm probably not even going to sell it till maybe the fall. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to, it's going to be hard to be like on the road traveling and then sell my box truck, because what am I going to do with all my stuff? So I don't know what's going to happen, but I lowered the price with the mental intent of selling it in the next month, 2 months max. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Price has been lowered. Jeff says, I'm nervous buying a vehicle with 200,000 miles to live in. I hear you, Jeff. You got to keep in mind the challenge is on a higher mileage vehicle, when you're living in it and traveling with it, if it breaks down, you got to put it in a shop. And then where are you going to live while it's in the shop? So I share your concerns. Not ideal. But, you know, what are you going to do? I mean, it's an adventure. Maybe you just do it anyway. I will say this. Let me tell you this, Jeff. The first vehicle I lived in, my Econoline cargo van, I bought it with 245,000 miles, which is insane. That's super high mileage. But the reason I was comfortable with it is the guy I bought it from, it had a brand new transmission, and the guy was already doing work to convert it into a van, like a tiny home on wheels. And so a lot of stuff had been replaced, like brakes and starter and alternator. It had a bunch of stuff done to it. But it was the original motor with 240,000 miles. Looking back in retrospect, I was crazy. But I will tell you, I lived in that van for over 2 years. And the only issue I had is it blew out a couple spark plugs, which is a common issue on the Ford Econoline of that model year with an aluminum head. So it wasn't even mileage related. That could have happened at 100,000 or 200,000. But I did it and I had a great time, and I only had like one breakdown in the whole 2 years I owned it. It was super reliable. So it's just, it's a roll of the dice, man, but it's not necessarily the end of the world if you do get a higher mileage vehicle. I would just say, if you do get a high mileage vehicle, try to find one that's already had maintenance done to it, right? So here's the thing: when you're buying a vehicle, If you buy a vehicle with low mileage, like for example, if you buy, like for example, there was a Isuzu NPR for sale from 2004 and it had only 40,000 miles, super low miles. But here's the problem, because the mileage is so low, I probably almost everything on that vehicle was original. So like the starter, the alternator, all that stuff, because the mileage was so low, it's from 2004. So even though it's low mileage, you're gonna have to change out that kind of stuff just based on age. All the hoses, the belts, maybe the radiator, a lot of that stuff is gonna have to get changed out. Versus if you buy, a newer vehicle with higher mileage, the odds are they're going to um, they're going to have stuff changed out. And so that would be my thing to be careful of, is just like try to find, if it's high mileage, try to find something that's been maintained and they've had parts changed out. Let's see, going back to the chat, Raymond Peters from Baja. Hello, Raymond. Happy to see you here. I hope Baja is treating you well. Someone named you, is it Eunice? Eunice Duncan says that's great. Anything to not use something that will off gas. That's why the box truck is such a good pick. Jeff says, would you trust a water bladder? Um, a water bladder is just like a heavy duty plastic bladder bag to store water in. Sure, why not? Um, I would want to frame it with something so that the bladder, had walls and stuff, so it wasn't like expanding and contracting as you fill it, empty it, and move it. So I would probably try to frame it. What I would do is I would put the bladder in, I would fill it with water, and then when it's at its fullest capacity, I would probably build a frame around it. And then knowing that at its full capacity, that's the largest it's going to be, just to kind of immobilize it. But yeah, I don't know. I think a water bladder would be fine. But I don't know the benefit of a water bladder, because you're gonna have to allow the space when it's filled, and then what are you gonna do? I mean, as you use from the water bladder, you're not gonna like roll it up and put stuff there and then remove stuff when you need to refill it. So I don't really know that you're gaining anything. I think the main purpose of a bladder is that you can relocate it, or it can be modular. You can put it different places, but in a vehicle, it's pretty much going to be fixed location. So I don't know the benefit of a bladder system. I don't know. Tell me if I'm missing something. Uh, Nod Arb, should I reinforce my roof? I'm gonna have 280 pounds of solar. It depends. What your roof is made out of. If it's that thin, clear, uh, like the clear translucent roof material, you might consider it. But here's the thing too, if your roof is really thin, you might want to use like a unistrut piece to run all the way down the length of your roof. That way, all the weight from your panels is resting on those aluminum, cross members. So if you have a thin roof, you might want to do something like that. That would probably be my suggestion. Nautilus says, I want cousin Lonnie to wrap my truck like he did yours. Cousin Lonnie didn't wrap my truck. Nomad Thad wrapped my truck. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Nautilus. Lonnie was with me last Schoolie Palooza when I had the truck wrapped. So Lonnie was hanging out next to me, but Nomad Thad did the wrap himself. It wasn't Lonnie. Let's see. Eunice is asking, would you get a much larger box truck? Yeah, I'd have to get a bigger. The only reason I'm selling is because I need a bigger truck. This is a 12-foot box. The floor is 12 feet. I'm getting a 16-foot. So I get 4 more feet of living space, and that'll give me room on one side for a 4 foot by 8 foot tall cabinet. So I'm going to have a 4 foot by 8 foot cabinet to house all my solar and electrical tools and parts, all my wire, my connectors. I'll have some like probably charge controllers and stuff I carry with me, some miscellaneous components. So all that's going to go in one big cabinet so I can just open the cabinet, see what I have, take an easy inventory, grab what I need. It'll be much better for me to work. As I am right now, all my components are scattered throughout the van in closets and cabinets and drawers. So it's a treasure hunt to find all the parts and pieces I need when I do an installation. So I'll have space for that. On the opposite side with the other 4 feet, I'm gonna have a full bathroom. So yeah, going up to a 16-foot box truck is gonna be a game changer for what I'm doing. Now, if I didn't have my solar install business, I wouldn't need a bigger box truck. The only reason I'm getting a bigger one is because of all the parts and stuff I have to carry around. So if you guys work remotely, you have online jobs, you're retired, I still think a 12-foot is the best size. And you could easily put a shower in here. I just went crazy with counter space. I mean, I got all this counter space, plus I have all this counter space. If I wanted a shower in here, I would probably put it in the corner. I would have a corner stall shower, and then I would move the kitchen sink over to here, and then I would use this side as my computer desk area. So there's plenty of room in here that you could have a full bathroom if you wanted one, and still plenty of space for everything else. But not for me. I got too many tools. So that's the plan. That's why we're doing the bigger box truck. But the 12-foot is ideal. It fits in any parking space, any like grocery store parking lot. Easy to turn around. I like it. I think it's a perfect fit, unless you have a lot of stuff. Jay's Cast says, thank you for your videos. You're welcome, Jay. Happy to help you out. I see Super Dave just came in with a super chat. Thank you, Super Dave. I appreciate you. Super Dave is 100% my largest financial supporter, and I appreciate it. It's expensive to live this lifestyle. Gas is expensive. I only get 10 miles a gallon. So I appreciate the support, and I like to know that the content I give is valuable. I like to know that you guys are appreciating it and finding value in it. I wouldn't keep doing it if you guys weren't positive about it, and if you weren't taking something away. My goal is to kind of help teach and educate and encourage other folks to do this lifestyle or DIY their own builds. And so I'm happy to help out. I want to say something really quick while we're talking about building. I've been promising a box truck build for a long time now, and it's happening very shortly. Here's what's going on. Initially, I thought my box truck would sell quickly and I would start a new build. It has not sold quickly. Sir Dave bought a new box truck that we were going to start a build out on, but it needed some mechanical work. It's been in the shop for like 2 weeks. And so that was like the secondary box truck I was going to feature on the channel. But good news, Sir Dave's box truck is out of the mechanic. It's fixed. He's moving forward on acquiring some materials for the build out. And then he's going to be heading over to Arizona and we're going to start the build out. So, probably in a couple weeks, there will be an official build happening on the channel. I'm going to take you guys through the process. The regular um, published weekly videos as well as the live streams will all be kind of centered around building and installing and living in a box while you're building it. So it's going to be really good content for those of you that are here for that type of content. It's not going to be travel vlogs. It's not going to be power station reviews. It's going to be build videos. I know you guys appreciate that. So that's what's coming up. Additionally, Scott is coming out from, I think Scott is in Ohio. He's coming out west at probably about the same time, the end of February. And he's going to be doing a box truck build as well. So I'm hoping Scott will join me and Sir Dave and we can get a big build camp going. And so potentially there's going to be 2 box trucks being built all at the same time. And additionally, we're going to have a nomadic builder come out and help. I don't do full conversions, and so it's possible Mark from Wanderbox will join and help Scott with his build out. I also reached out to Kyle Chapman from Chapman Builds. He's a nomadic van builder, very skilled guy. So I just reached out to see what his schedule is like, but Kyle might be coming out to help us. So It might be a big community uh, box truck build. I'm excited. We're gonna have a fun time. So I wanted to let you guys know about that. Within a few weeks here, we'll have build videos, and once those start, those are going to be going long into the future. And then there's still a possibility that this truck sells and I start a build. So there could be 3 box truck builds happening simultaneously. Who knows? It's going to be crazy. It's going to be fun. Going back to the chat, Scott says, curious question. Scott's asking about spare tires, if anyone carries one. So I'll share my story again. When you have a dually, when you have a dually in the back, you have 2 wheels on each side. If you blow out any of your tires, you can pull off one of your dually tires to replace the blown out tire. And you can drive on 5 wheels instead of 6. I've done that multiple times. I had a blowout in my first box truck in Oregon on my outer dually. I just pulled it off. I threw it in the back. I drove for the whole rest of the weekend, all through BLM roads, multiple campsites on 5 wheels. And then I drove an hour and a half on the highway into town to get a replacement tire at uh, Discount Tire. And then additionally, if you watch my video from last spring or maybe fall coming from Texas, I had a blowout on the highway and same thing happened. I just threw the blown out tire in the back of my box truck. I drove like an hour down the highway on 5 wheels. So my advice to anybody in a box truck is you don't need a spare because at any given time you have 2 extra tires on the rear axle. It's not ideal and it's not good for long-term situations. But in an emergency, you can absolutely drive, you know, kind of as long as you need to, uh, missing 1 wheel. And if a front tire blows out, you can take your rear dual off, flip it, and it's the exact same wheel that's on the front. So that's why most box trucks and shuttle buses don't have spare tires, as long as you have a dually. Um, AJ in the chat saying, please take a time to smash the like button. Thank you, AJ. I appreciate it. John C says, what activities are you and your dad doing while you're in Yuma? That's a good question. So, me and my dad are just doing projects around the house. We're builders. Uh, he's a lot like me. He's always tinkering on projects. And so, he's been doing all kinds of stuff around the house. I'm trying to think, what has he been doing this year? Um, he's doing some woodworking, some electrical projects, some work on the RV. So I've just been helping him tinker. He's been helping me a little bit. I got a diesel heater project I'm going to work on. I'm adjusting the heater vent on my diesel heater. He's going to help me with that. So we've been doing projects around the house here, just keeping everything going. Raymond Peters says buy a trailer for parts and a shop. So Raymond says instead of selling this box truck, I could buy a trailer. I could, but I don't want to tow a trailer. If I add a cargo trailer, I would want at least a 12-foot cargo trailer. And then with the tongue, I'm going to be adding another couple feet. And so then I'm going to be close to 30 feet long. And it's pretty hard to, stealth camp and, move around the city with a trailer at 30 feet. So I don't want to do that. A lot of nomads do, but most nomads that pull trailers, they avoid the cities. And I still want to be able to uh, go to San Diego, do jobs, stealth camp. And a 16-foot box truck is only 2 feet longer than the truck I have now. It's the same length as Shuron Dave's current U-Haul box. And he stealth camps all over San Diego. So that's the reason I do not want a trailer. John C is asking how I decided to do sliding cabinets. Um, I did sliding cabinets because they're easy, they're very fast to assemble, and you don't need hinges, you don't need latches to keep them closed, you don't need magnetic closures. It's just easy. And I like the fact that you don't have to worry about them flying open while you're driving. They can't fly open, they only slide side to side. So for me, it just made sense. You don't have to put shocks on them. A lot of people on the cabinets, they have the hinges plus the shocks plus the latch. It's like a whole thing. It adds a lot of cost and weight and time, and I wasn't interested in any of that. So I just did the sliders. Scott says, I just bought mine with 200K on it already. It's a diesel. Yeah, that I mean, when I was talking about mileage earlier, I was talking about gas engines. When you when you're talking about a gas engine, 200,000 miles is kind of end of life. Not completely, but kind of. That Econoline I had was a gas engine. I will say though, I bought that Econoline with 200, I think like 45,000. I sold it with 260 something thousand. I put over 20,000 miles on it. And the guy I sold it to called me like a couple of years later, and he said he hit 300,000 miles in that Econoline, and it was still going. So, and even like these box trucks, the U-Haul trucks, you can find them for sale uh, with over 300,000 miles. So it's definitely possible. It's just that you're reaching end of life. So they can definitely go more than 200,000, 300,000. Diesels can go more. You know, diesels can go 500,000 miles. You just got to maintain them. That's the only thing. You have to maintain them. Real Cruise says the 6.8 is known to blow out plugs. The main problem with the plugs blowing out was in the 5.4. That's what I had in my first Econoline. You can research it, but there's a certain window of time that Ford made aluminum heads. And what happened is the threads for the spark plugs, it wasn't deep enough. So the plug didn't thread in enough. And as it expands and contracts over time, the plug will work its way out. And eventually the compression from the engine pops the plug out. And so you can look it up online, but it's only a couple years because once they figured out what was happening, they fixed the problem with the head. They made the plugs deeper. And so my Econoline that blew out the plugs was a 2005, and I think they corrected the problem in either '06 or '07. So if you just Google it, you can find out. But if you um if you what was I gonna say? Oh, if you have the engine that has that issue, there's a fix for it. Like I had mine fixed. They make this sleeve kit that remedies the situation, so you can fix it and you can do it preventatively. Like if you have that engine and you don't want to worry about the plugs blowing out, you can just have it fixed preventatively, and then it's gonna be fine. Once I had my old Econoline fixed, it didn't have any issues. Um, Someone's talking about a 900-watt solar panel. I call bullshit. I don't believe it for 1 minute, but I would love you to drop a link in the chat. I'd like to look it up. But especially if it's flexible. So the thing is, there's a lot of lying that happens with flexible solar panels on like AliExpress and Alibaba. I met a guy at Tiny Fest that was showing me these little flexible panels. It was about the size of like a 150-watt flexible panel, and he had a pair of them, and he bought them off AliExpress. He paid like 200 bucks for them, and he told me they were 600 watts a piece. And I was like, there's no way. It's physically impossible based on the size of the panel. And I could just look at it and tell there was nothing special about it. It was a regular flexible panel. The actual rating is probably 125 watts, and China was just bullshitting them. And he didn't know any better, and he believed it. So uh, I don't believe there's a 900-watt solar panel. It's possible. It would be huge. So the thing is, solar technology, has only progressed to a certain point. And so I know Canadian Solar. There's a company called Canadian Solar, and they make a 700-watt panel, but it's like 7.5 feet long by 4 feet wide, and it probably weighs 80 pounds. So 900-watt panel would be close to 100 pounds. I I don't know. I doubt it. Maybe, but you're gonna need a crane to move it around. It's gonna be 10 feet long. But drop a link in the chat. I'd love to check it out. Hector Quintanilla. Hi from South Texas. Do you have a hot water heater? I do not. No hot water in this van. My plan for the next van is I'm going to do probably what Scott is doing, which is a 6-gallon electric water heater, because I only plan to use hot water in the shower. And so I'm just going to get a tank hot water heater, the little 6-gallon, and basically I'll leave it off all the time. And then I'll just turn it on like 20 minutes before I want to take a shower. It'll heat up. I'll take a shower and I'll turn it off. So that's my plan. I don't want to do propane. I don't want to have to fill propane and all that kind of stuff. Someone's asking about things to look for when you buy a box truck. I have a video on that. I did a walkthrough on this box truck before I bought it, and it's all just the basic stuff, right? Like, but you can still cover a lot by just knowing the basic stuff: tires, coolant levels, um, checking your fluids, all that kind of stuff. Let me see what I got here. Let me see if I can find it. I'll videos. Oh, that's my builds. It is, what is it? Where's I'm missing a playlist. I don't know. I don't see it here. That's weird. Let's see. Oh, across your channel. Um, let's see. Buying. See if I can pull it up. Buying. G. Buy. Come on, man. Here it is right here. Inspections. All right. I'll drop this in the chat. Uh, if you guys want to know stuff to look for before you buy a box truck, I do a walk around of this box truck. Just kind of show you guys some basics. You can check that out. Good info there. It's for free. All right. Yeah, Scott's got the 7.3 in his V8 box truck. It's a good engine. People like it. Taylor is asking, do you think an O'Connor line with 170K is worth buying directly from U-Haul for 10K? Um, let's see. Simple Box bought his from U-Haul with 150K. So here's the benefit of buying a vehicle from U-Haul is the vehicle originated at U-Haul. They've owned it since it was brand new, and they've done all the maintenance. And I've talked to the U-Haul, my U-Haul mechanic AD multiple times. They have regular routine maintenance they're constantly doing. They fix everything that could potentially cause a breakdown because their number one concern is that they do not want clients having breakdowns while they're in their vehicles transporting their stuff because it makes it very expensive and it's a bad look for U-Haul if they have people breaking down in their vehicles. So the maintenance is rigorous. So I would say if the maintenance is up to date at 170,000 miles, it's probably not a bad investment. I talked to the mechanic AD at U-Haul, and he said his favorite Ford motor is the 6.8 liter V10. He said he trusts that motor over anything. He said it's damn near indestructible. He even likes it better than the brand new 7.3 liter Godzilla engine, gas Godzilla engine. He said it's hard to kill a 6.8 V10. And I believe it. You see plenty of them on marketplace with over 300,000 miles. So if it's been maintained, I think 170K is not bad. But just keep in mind, there's a lot of companion components that, depending on age, are going to need to be replaced. So make sure you have money set aside and just know that it's going to need work along the way. 10K is not bad. I think that's a little high though still. Right now the box truck market has gone down significantly. I see vehicles with less mileage than that routinely selling for around the $8,000 mark. In fact, there's one here for sale in Arizona. Um, let me see if I can find it for like $8,000. Now it's not directly from U-Haul. Yeah, right here. Look at this. It's $6,000. Guys, come buy this damn thing. Okay, I'm going to show this to you. Bear with me. It's just going to be uh, on the screen here. Look at this. So that's an ex U-Haul. It actually looks kind of similar to mine with the orange wrap on the side. It's in Yuma, Arizona. It's a 2006 Ford E450 with 140,000 miles. They're only asking $6,000. It says, well taken care of, no mechanical issues, ready to be put to use. $6,000 for this van, 140,000 miles. So I would, again, it's not directly from U-Haul, so you don't know the condition of it. But man, that's a low price. You could do a lot with the $4,000 you would save. Um, so yeah. Anyway, it's up to you, man. It's up to you. But I think 10K is a little high just based on that. And I've seen multiple other ones going for the $8,000 range that have less than 170,000. So the only benefit is U-Haul has maintenance records. So I would want to see what's been done to that van because keep in mind, if they've replaced like the transmission or they've done major service work, then it might actually be a better value to get that used U-Haul. So I would investigate before you bought it. For sure, I would investigate. Oh man, I think I'm gonna make dinner. I'm hungry, but the chat is on fire right now. Simple Box says, Brad, I VHB taped my solar to the roof and cut my pass through this week. I have hole in truck anxiety. I hear you, brother. Happy to hear you've done it. Um, yeah, glad it worked out. My only suggestion is, once you put the solar down, this is all you have to do, Simple Box. Um, is just after it's been sitting for a while, whatever, go up on the roof and just like grab your solar panel and just kind of give it a little shake. And what you want to see, you want it to feel solid, and just physically look at the part you VHB. And what you should see is when you pull on it, the bracket and the VHB tape is stuck to the roof, and you should see the metal in the roof to kind of flex and pull up. And that you have a solid bond, right? Panels to the VHB to the roof, a little flex, but the whole roof is flexing. And I mean, if you see that, you're good, brother. That's it. That's all she wrote. But if you pull on the panel and the roof stays flat and the panel lifts up, that means you have an adhesion issue with the VHB tape. But if you follow my instructions, you should be fine. Diana asks if I have a storage unit. I do not have a storage unit. Everything I own is here in this box truck and in my dad's garage. All right, I'm gonna cruise down and try to catch up with the chat. Simple Box with super chat. Thank you, Simple Box. I appreciate you. I talked to Simple Box on a video a couple weeks ago. He's DIYing his electrical, doing a good job, just learning from the internet. It's really not that difficult if you got the time and the patience and the desire. Some people just don't want to do it. That's fine. But if you have the desire to learn and put it together yourself, it's not that hard. Especially with the all-in-one units. You just plug in wires. AJ Scoggins is asking where we're setting up Nomad Build Camp. I'm not sure, AJ. I want to do it in Havasu. Suron Dave is a little nervous about having to jump around with two vehicles um, because Suron Dave is going to have his U-Haul conversion he's currently living in and his new Kodiak box truck. And BLM there in Havasu is only 2 weeks. And so he's not wanting to have to like jump around every 2 weeks. So he was kicking around the idea of doing the build at a LTVA. I don't know. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. I don't know if we're going to be able to get away with doing a build like that in an LTVA, having a bunch of rigs doing build outs. So I'm not sure what's going to happen yet. It's kind of up in the air. But yeah, I'm voting for Havasu. I think that'd be a cool spot. And then if we have to move 2 weeks, all we got to do is go down to the other end of Havasu. We can park by Sarah's Crack, and that I mean that should be fine. And then in theory, I guess we could bounce back to Craigie Wash. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Raymond says my 12-foot box only has four wheels. That means you have an E350 or a 3500. The 450 series and 4500 um, are dualies. So you must have a single, yeah, so that's the situation. It's not rated for as much weight. Drawn to Drift, enter the chat. Happy to see you. The real Van Man is here. When are you going to paint those door pulls orange? Not on this build. I'm done. I'm done doing work on this build. I'll do it on the next one. Uh, okay, cool. We're getting to the end of the chat. Let's see what we got. Violet at Content Boutique says, "Hi, Brad and fam. Where are you looking on Facebook Marketplace? The pages I find don't look like that." So there's no pages on Facebook Marketplace. There's no pages. I'll show you. You're probably on a Facebook group or something. So this is how you find vehicles. You open up Facebook and then you click on Marketplace. And then that's it. You're in Marketplace. Now it shows a bunch of cars because that's what I'm always searching for. So it brings up cars in my feed. But if I was searching for, furniture, it would show furniture. But that's all you have to do. Go to Facebook, click on Marketplace, and then up in the corner here, just type in box truck and it'll show you box trucks. And then I would suggest expanding your search radius to up to 250 miles because for the right vehicle at the right price, you should be willing to travel. For example, that box truck that I just showed you guys for $6,000. If that truck is 250 miles away, you better believe rent. I'm gonna go rent a car and drive it out there to buy it, and then drive the box truck home. To save potentially $4 or $5,000. It's definitely worth it. So I would suggest you expand your search radius. Here it is right here, 6,000 bucks, Yuma, Arizona. You can see it was some kind of a business vehicle. It says uh, something like delivery or environmental. I don't know. Anyway, that's it. Okay. Someone's asking me to cook dinner. I'm hungry, so I agree with that. Let's make some dinner. Let's make some dinner. Hey, show me those 900-watt solar panels. Where are you at, bro? I want to see them. No judgment to you, but I want to see what they're advertising. Recognize? Yeah, you missed it. We're doing a build in a couple weeks. I don't know the location yet, but it's gonna be for sure me and Sir on Dave, and I think Scott's gonna be there, and maybe more people. I don't know. End of February. I have a live every week, so we'll talk about it as the dates get closer. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's make some food. I'm hungry. Is it possible to hop on it? You're gonna be in Arizona? You're gonna have a vehicle to build out? What are you trying to do? Talk to me. Talk to me, man. Let's see. So, I'm trying to figure out how I can position this so you guys can see what's happening. I'm not going to be able to read the chat. Uh, Trying to add a shower. What do we got? What's a good view? What's a good view? What's a good view? That's not bad. That's decent. Why is it fuzzy? There we go. Okay, that's a decent view. You guys can see me cooking. I guess I'll bring my laptop over. I can read the chat here. Okay, so here's what's going on. Excuse me. Woo, lost my voice. Share your business page. I have uh, .biz. I have nomadics.biz. What the heck? My laptop just froze. Hold on. And then also I have Solar. There we go. Those are my two businesses. Um, am I still live? Why did I lose? I lost internet on my laptop. What's happening? It looks like I'm still live. Reload the page. Okay, here we go. Let's try this again. I don't know. There we go. That feels smoother. Internet was getting funky. It's getting funky on me. Okay, dinner time. Here we go. So this is what I'm doing. I got this organic grass-fed beef. I think this came from grocery outlet. I love grocery outlet. They got really good deals on food. So I'm gonna do some ground beef and I'm gonna do some instant mashed potatoes. I never really had these before until a couple months ago, and they're delicious. They basically taste just like regular mashed potatoes. You can't tell a difference. It's all this is a box of ground up mashed potato, but it's ground up so fine that you just add boiling water and it turns into mashed potatoes. So we're gonna do this and we're going to use some butter and milk with the potatoes. And then additionally, I'm going to do a cucumber salad. So first, we got to get the pan going for the mashed potatoes. I'm sorry, not the mashed. We got to get the pan going for the ground beef. So I use coconut oil. I use coconut oil to season the pan. Someone's asking about eggs. You know what's funny is I have two 18 racks of eggs right now. Um, my dad just went to Sam's Club, which is like a Costco, and they had a 60 pack case of eggs. 60 eggs. And I think he said they were only like 50 cents a piece. So he got like 60 eggs for $30 or something. Pretty crazy. But apparently, if you need eggs, you get them at Sam's Club. Okay, so we got this. So I'm using, of course, the induction cooktop. It's running off my battery bank. Yeah, LA prices are crazy. Running off my custom electrical, my Sun Gold Power all-in-one inverter charger. Running the cooktop. I've been having a great, successful time with my electrical system. No hiccups, no issues. It's plenty of power. It runs everything I need. It's really nice. People underestimate the importance of having a big electrical system. I talk to a lot of people. None of you guys all know how important it is. I talk to a lot of people, like in cargo vans, sprinters and ProMasters that are doing. They want to run all kinds of stuff. They want to run induction cooktops and air conditioners, and they think they can do it with 600 watts of solar. And I'm here to tell you, it ain't happening. It's not enough. But people that email me to my solar service website that want to hire me to do installs, and I tell them like I'm not going to do that because it's not going to perform the way you want it to, and you're going to be disappointed. And then everyone you run into, you're going to tell them, "Oh yeah, Nomad Brad installed this solar system. It doesn't work." Because I know how it is. People. won't take responsibility. They're going to blame me like I didn't install it right. But anyway, you want to have a good electrical system. So I always recommend put in the biggest solar system you can and be free, be happy. So I'm going to chop up some onion. This onion's looking a little aged, a little bit of an aged onion. And it always makes me cry. Might have to turn on the vent fan. Just a word of caution. Might get a little bit loud. So I got this onion. It's been in the cabinet for a little while. I use it in the morning in with my eggs, and I just kind of use it sporadically as needed. Sometimes I forget about it. It gets a little old, but we're gonna put it tonight in the ground beef. So on the stove, I have the pan heating on level 5. That's 5 out of 10, so that's like 50% capacity. The all the oil has melted, so we're gonna throw the beef on. I'm gonna go ahead and open that up, and I have this razor blade. I don't know why, but I use this razor blade to open up my ground beef. I guess I don't want to use my regular cooking knife for raw beef. I don't know. It's kind of funny, but I use a box cutter razor blade from Harbor Freight. These are cheap. They're like $1 a piece. Anyway, so I'm gonna dump this directly into the pan. Big cube of beef. We got a cube of beef here. Oh, it's gonna sizzle. Get ready. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. Okay. So what I like to do is heat up the pan with the oil. I just drop in the whole chunk of beef, and then I just break it up with the spatula. And then I add my seasoning, and I'll add some onions. And it's pretty good. It's a pretty good way to just kind of break everything up. Doesn't get too crazy. I'll bring you guys in for a closer shot here in a minute. Okay, so we got the beef. We'll add some salt. I'm running low on pink salt here. Just kind of salt it up. And then we're going to add some pepper. I like to use the grinders. I don't know if I think it's fresher. I don't know if you can really taste a difference, but at least in my mind, there's a difference, right? I think it tastes better. That's all that matters. It's all about the mind, man. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to chop up this onion, add it to the ground beef, and then we'll also add some onion to the cucumber salad as well. Okay, we need more. That's not nearly enough onion. Oh man, I can already feel it. It's getting to my eyes. My eyes are weak. So sensitive, too sensitive. All right, here we go. Onions into the beef with the salt and pepper. And then what I'm going to do is just kind of mash it all in, mix it in, get the onions in there, mix it up, and then I will add some seasoning. Someone's asking about lamb sauce. I don't know what that is. Uh, Real Cruz says someday when I get land, I want a solar shed and a chicken house. I hear you, man. That's the no ultimate nomad goal. I think for most people, they want to get land. I definitely want to get land. I want to set up a completely solar off-grid property. Um, I want to do installs there, do build outs, invite out the nomad community, have kind of a spot for people to come through, work on their rigs, have some chickens, have some garden, but the trade-off is when you do that, you can't really leave, you know what I mean? You can't leave your chickens. So that would kind of be the point at which Nomad Brad hangs up his nomad apron. Uh, you know. So I'd probably start out without animals, just get land in the next few years. And then I don't know, I guess as I get older, get chickens. I'm not sure. Okay, let's see what we got going on. Let me bring you guys over, show you what's going on here. So here's what the ground beef looks like with the salt, with the pepper, with the onion kind of all chopped in there. I'm cooking it at level 5. We'll let it cook, another 10 minutes or so. And then I'm going to add some seasoning. Let me go ahead and get some seasoning. Sorry, guys. I know the camera's all over the place. Okay. So what do we have? I have multiple seasonings. I think I want to use this one. I like this one for meat. It's smoked paprika, garlic, chili, and chives. So it's got kind of a smoky barbecue flavor. It's pretty good. By the way, I buy all my spices at like here's a little hack, either TJ Maxx or Ross or Home Goods. Like this jar of spices, look at this. I got it at Ross for 3.99. But if you tried to buy this jar of spices like, at a regular grocery store, this is like a $8 to $10 bottle of spices. So if you guys want to get stuff on the cheap, uh, that's a good spot to do it. I know it's weird because you don't think of those places as having food, but they got good deals, believe it or not, on that stuff. Also, what you can get, what's crazy is you can get imported Italian pasta and pasta sauces at Home Goods, like imported from Italy. It's wild. And they're really cheap. It's like cheaper than buying, just crappy American pasta at Albertsons or whatever grocery store you guys have. So you never know where the deals are going to be at. Oh boy, that's a lot. Okay, there we go. Spices are in. I went a little heavy. If you guys watch the video that's coming out this Sunday, um, I did a roast again, and I used some new spices, and it was absolutely delicious. It came out so good. You guys should check it out. Let's see what's at the chat. Will Ty asks about eggs. They were definitely cheapest for my dad to get them at Sam's Club. Um, but I would say I don't. I buy 18 packs of eggs. I don't buy dozens. But how much do I pay for an 18? I want to say an 18 pack is like, 16 bucks, 15, 16 bucks. So it's they're not cheap. And the other thing that I noticed is there's a physical shortage. So like down here in Yuma, our local grocery store is called Fry's, and when I was there a couple weeks ago, they only had a few cartons of eggs left. They were almost completely sold out. So just in general, there's an egg shortage. The USDA killed a bunch of chickens because of some bird flu thing. So that's why there's an egg shortage, is they just killed a bunch of eggs or chickens. But the good news is chickens grow pretty fast, and it doesn't take them too long to get to where they're producing eggs. So in theory, the supply should bounce back relatively shortly. It shouldn't be, hopefully it's not like a long-term thing, unless they keep killing chickens, but then that's a whole nother story. Okay, so that's it. The ground beef is simmering. We're gonna let that roll. Now I'm gonna do the cucumber salad really quick, and then the potatoes will be last because that goes fastest. Diana asks if I'm taking the orange desk to my next truck. I cannot because it's built in. It's literally screwed to the wall. The orange desk will stay in here. John C says, "Where's the chorizo?" Man, I don't have any experience with chorizo, man, but I would love to try some, John C. Maybe you can uh, point me in the direction of chorizo, or you tell me how I buy it, because I don't know. Like, I don't even know what that is. Is that a cut of meat, or is that a finish? Like, you have to make it? Is that a dish? I don't know what that is, but uh, I do enjoy spicy, and I do enjoy meat. So chorizo sounds interesting. I just don't know how it works, man. Truck driver says try caramelizing the onions. Yeah, I agree. That's probably a better choice. I'm definitely not that knowledgeable when it comes to like making food. I've become better over the years, but I just, I don't know that much about it. So I'm sure caramelizing the onions was probably a better idea. I have started braising my roasts before I cook them. The one I did Sunday, I braised it before I put it in the Instant Pot, and the braising definitely made it look and taste a lot better. So I am learning slowly but surely. I am learning. Okay, so we're gonna do the cucumber salad. I'm gonna rinse off this cucumber really quick. There it is. It has been rinsed. And we're gonna chop it up. I need a dish to put it into. I think I already have one. Here we go. Wait, this one? Which one is it? This one. I already got one that has a little oil and vinegar left. So I'm just gonna reuse this. Alrighty. You guys see that? Yes, you can. We're gonna chop up the cucumber. These are English cucumbers, by the way, that come in the plastic bags. I don't know why they put them in plastic bags, but um, they have no seeds in them, which is interesting. Some kind of a some kind of a like GMO thing. I don't know. But yeah, these are good. I like this style. They're a little more soft and like not quite as tough as your traditional large grocery store cucumber. So I'm just cutting this into slices. I'm gonna put them in the dish here, and then I'm gonna add oil and vinegar and onions. I do really enjoy this cucumber salad. I eat a lot of it. I think uh, the vinegar is good for you. I think it's good for your gut. Helps with like digestion and I don't know, all kinds of stuff. Uh, Apple cider vinegar, that's what I use. Apple cider vinegar, and then some olive oil. Pretty good stuff. Olive oil from Grocery Outlet, they got the deals, man. They got the deals on olive oil. You got to shop smart with your hard-earned money. Going back to the comments, didn't know they sold spices at Ross. Yep. The Nomad Tim says, no joke, Ross and Marshalls has great deals on spices and some good foods. Absolutely. They got some cool snacks too. Like you can get random like things of popcorn and chips and pretzel. There's all kinds of cool snacks there. Um, Lots of treats too. If you like chocolate or sugar, there's all kinds of stuff. All kinds of dangerous stuff there. Bargain hunt. I never heard of that, Will. That must be like a Midwest or an East Coast thing. I like the sound of it though. Bargain hunt. Ground beef and cabbage. That's a good idea. Appreciate that, Van Man. Yeah, I should do that next time. Um, I should do cabbage. Shredded cabbage would be dope. Actually, I used to have a vegetable shredder. One time I made sauerkraut in my old box truck, and I had a shredder for that. It worked out pretty well. Okay, here we go. So let's chop up this onion. I think I'm going to use the rest of this into the cucumber salad. Man, I'm so hungry and I'm smelling all this delicious food and it just makes me even more hungry. Let's go. Let's go. I'm excited about it. Okay, there we are. So I'm going to dump the onion into the cucumber salad and that's it. And I'm going to throw the rest of this away so I don't start tearing up. All right. We're done. Done with the done with the onion. Okay, so now we have this. Whew, cucumber salad. Kind of mix it up a little bit. You guys can see that. There's a little bit of vinegar left because I just made one yesterday and I already ate it. So we're just going to keep it rolling. Reuse that vinegar. It's fine. So we got some olive oil. This is Star Organic. This was from Grocery Outlet. They had it on clearance. Kind of top it off with some olive oil. I'm going to kick the fan on. Hopefully it's not too loud. I'm getting some condensation in here. There's some steam. The ground beef is almost done anyway, so I can turn the oven or the stove top off here. Ground beef is looking really good though. I think we're gonna call it. Let you guys see the ground beef. It's looking good. You can see the onion in there. It's got a nice brown color to it. We got the salad. It's gonna be delicious. Another thing I really like about these box trucks is, if you're someone that enjoys cooking, you can really cook in here. I mean, there's tons of room. You can spread everything out. You got tons of counter space. You can have a legitimate kitchen, exhaust hood, which this would be hard to do in like a cargo or a transit or a sprinter. It'd be harder to do this. You could do it, but it'd be more difficult. Um, so I just really appreciate how much space there is, to move around and do all your business. So box trucks are still my favorite platform. I think people are missing out that sleep on the box truck platform, and they're cheap. I mean, we looked at that one tonight, $6,000. That's crazy. That's crazy. 140,000 miles, 6 grand. It looks clean too. That's like an unbelievable price. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. I mean, you'd have a hard time even just finding like an old cargo van for $6,000 that's in decent shape, let alone a full-on box truck. That would almost be a good one to buy and just build out and sell it. You could make some pretty good money if your starting vehicle price is only 6 grand. Got a super chat from the Real Cruise. Appreciate you, man. I just got paid. Brad and the community are always coming through with good vibes and info. Appreciate you, Real Cruise. Happy to help. I'm happy. It's not just me, it is the community. We got great members in here. Um, lot of good comments and questions and activities. These live streams, they wouldn't be any good if you guys weren't involved and active and asking questions and hanging out. So I appreciate the participation. It's a group effort. We're all in it together. Appreciate you guys. Oh man. Okay. So hungry. Take my microphone off so I'm not crunching into your ears. Okay, so here's where we're at. We got the ground beef. We got the cucumber salad. The last thing we got to do is make the potatoes. Let me put this back on. Hold on. Is that what we're doing? What are we doing? Is that what we did? I don't know. Okay. All right. So, really quick, I'm going to shake up the salad. Just mix everything up. Mix the oil, mix the vinegar, mix the salt and pepper. Let it stand for a minute. Okay. Put that there. Put away the olive oil. There it goes. The beef is done. We can leave it there. Now we got to do the potatoes. So I'm trying something new tonight. In the past, I have always cooked the mashed potatoes in the Instant Pot, and so I've made like a big batch of mashed potatoes. But tonight, what I'm gonna try to do, because I visited King when I was in San Diego, and he just poured hot water into his mashed potatoes and stirred it up and ate it. Like, it was really quick and simple. So I'm gonna try to do that tonight and just use my single serving bowl. So we're just gonna put in the powdered mashed potatoes, a little butter, a little milk, and I'm gonna boil water on the stove and then just pour it into the bowl and mix it up and see if that works. Because that would be way easier than like the other way you do it, the proper way to do it on the stove top. So we'll try that. And then if that works, we'll just put the ground beef on top and we'll just eat that like a, I don't know, mashed potato beef bowl with some cucumber on the side. So we'll try it. We'll see what happens. Either way, I'm hungry and it's going to be delicious. Going back to the chat, James says, I just bought a 2008 GMC Savannah retired U-Haul for 5K cash. Runs and drives with AC. Hell yeah, James, good score. The GMC Savannah, is that the 10-foot box? I think the GMC Savannah is the 10-foot. I don't think they make a GMC, if it's U-Haul, I don't think they do the Savannah in a larger box. I could be wrong though. Okay, so let's see what we're gonna do. Oops, hold on, I'm strangling my microphone here. Let me move it. Okay, back to the outside. Okay, so for the potatoes, we're going to do 2 servings, which says we want a half a cup of potatoes, a third of a cup of milk, 2/3 of a cup of water. Okay, let me see what I got. So Nomad Brad rolls a little reckless. I just use a single measuring cup for everything. It's 1 cup. And so I just guesstimate all the stuff because I don't want to have 4 measuring cups and have to clean them all, and we're living light, baby. We're living minimal. So we're just going to use 1 cup. So the first thing I got to do is a half a cup of potatoes. So I'm just going to fill this halfway and it's going to be pretty close. And I guess the good thing about just adding boiling water is that you can just add enough water to get the consistency you need. So I'll show you guys what this looks like. Let me pull the little tab off the box. It's like flakes. It's just like little potato flakes. Where's the camera? Here's the camera. Come on, baby. You see that? How fine it is? It looks almost like pancake mix. It's super fine. So it's just like shredded potatoes. And they're just so fine that when you add hot water, it just like instantly liquefies them. And then it turns into mashed potatoes. So we'll try this out. So here's what we did. We're aiming for half a cup. We actually, right? Potatoes, half a cup. Yeah, we're pretty close. I don't know. We're pretty close. Maybe not quite. Ah, I don't know. Looks pretty good. You guys see that there? We're pretty close. Close enough. So I'm going to pour these directly into the bowl, just like that. Okay. And then we got to heat up the tea kettle here. That's going to be our hot water source. There's some floaties in there. What is that? I don't know what that is. There's some floaties in my tea kettle. I got to dump this out. That was strange. You know what's funny is it actually looked like mashed potato flakes, but I mean it's not, but kind of strange. Okay. So I'm gonna wipe this out because I don't understand what that was. Arizona Online in the chat says, I appreciate you sharing your knowledge with us. Yes, sir. You're welcome. I'm happy to help. James did confirm it is a 10-foot box. So there it is. That's a good price. Sometimes those 10-foot boxes actually are more expensive because there's less of them available. And some people really prefer them. So that's a good deal on the 10-foot box. It's definitely only four wheels, not a dual axle. You with a 10-foot box, you don't get a 7-foot ceiling. The ceiling's only like maybe a little over 6 feet, and the width is about a half a foot narrower, but it's still a nice vehicle, still spacious. And I would prefer still a 10-foot box over like, any type of cargo van or anything. Just having the square walls makes it so much easier to build. And I'm filling up the tea kettle. That should be enough. My I don't know why my laptop keeps timing out. Like the live feed keeps bugging. Okay. I don't know what's going on. There's a glitch in the universe. Okay. Tea kettle is set. We're gonna boil it quick. So I'm gonna go for oops, take it up to level 9. Heating level 9. 9. And okay, in the meantime, let me get some butter. We're gonna add some butter to the potatoes. And we're gonna add a little milk. So typically the way you do this is you boil the water in a saucepan or in an instant pot and with the butter and salt. And then once the water is boiling, then you dump in the potatoes and then you add the milk. So um, we're doing it a little backwards, but I bet it's going to be just as good. Okay, so we got the butter in with the potatoes, and then we're done with the measuring cup. And let's see, let's get some milk. I'm gonna put in just a little bit of milk. Okay. Now the milk is cold, which is probably not ideal, but I think the hot water is gonna go ahead and take care of all that. All right, and there we are. And so as soon as the water boils, we're just gonna dump it in and we'll stir it up and see what happens. And I'll move you guys over here so you can watch it with me. I've never attempted this, so we're gonna learn together. We're gonna learn together. All right, there it is. We got this. The water's getting ready. I can hear it already heating up. And let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna try this ground beef. See how we did. Oh, it's pretty good. Pretty good. When you cook with coconut oil, you can definitely taste it on the meat. It has a little bit of a sweet flavor. You can kind of taste the coconut. It's different. Some people might not like it if they really don't like coconut, but I think it's pretty good. Also, I'm really hungry. Okay, here we go. So you can hear the water boiling. We got there pretty quick. Okay, so I'm just gonna pour this in. I'll try that. See what happens. So I'm noticing already the consistency isn't quite the same, but Maybe I gotta whip it. We'll see. Also, in all honesty, my main concern is taste, and so I'm not really that concerned about the presentation of it. I'm just here by myself, eating my potatoes. So if it's not quite as pretty, but it still tastes as good, I would probably continue to do it this way just because of how simple it is. Like that's way easier than boiling the water in the instant pot, pouring in the potatoes. It's just this is so quick. So it's starting to set up pretty good. Violet says add more milk. You think I need more milk in here? It is looking a little thick. I'm gonna try it. Mm. Oh, it's delicious. It's so good. We'll add a little more milk because that's what Violet says. We'll try that. All right, here we go. Nomad Brad's learning how to make DIY mashed potatoes tonight. Oh, that might have been too much milk. That might have been too much milk. What am I gonna do now? Oh, it's looking good though. You know what this reminds me of? You guys ever have the mashed potatoes from KFC? That is like when I was little, that was my absolute favorite. I mean, I know it's probably full of chemicals and not very good for you, but they have the most delicious mashed potatoes you can find. And gravy. The gravy is so good. Oh yeah, look at that. That's looking good. That's looking really good. I think we did it. Violet was right. Real Cruz says add more flakes. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here, bro. Trying to sabotage me. We have to add more flakes, then add more milk. That looks really good, actually. I think we did it. I think it was a success. We're gonna try it out. Mm. Oh yeah, it's perfect. It's creamy. It's still warm. Mm. Yeah, whipped up. Look at that. Super easy. So you guys saw it here first. Instant mashed potatoes. Just mix everything in the bowl and then add hot water. Diana says, "Great job." Thank you, Diana. I appreciate it. It's kind of silly. It should be easy to do, DIY instant mashed potatoes, but I feel like we had a win tonight. So now what I'm gonna do is we got the potatoes. I'm just gonna pour some beef on it right on top, like that. Oh yeah, with the little onions in it. Look at that. There we go. Make a little bowl. Remember, KFC had those bowls. You could get like it was like all their stuff mixed into one. It was like mac and cheese and potatoes and chicken all in one little bowl. Pretty good. Let's see. So I'm gonna taste this really quick, and I think I'm gonna add hot sauce because I just really love hot sauce. Mmm, that's really good. Okay, so my buddy Brian makes his own hot sauce. It's called Nomad sauce. This is called Smoking Green. Anyway, he makes his own. It's like he lives in a school bus, but he's like a mad scientist with this stuff. He orders all these specific different types of peppers, and he cooks them all into like differently by hand. Like some of them he roasts, and then other ones he like grills. He's got a whole science to it, but yeah, he makes the most delicious hot sauces I've ever had. And so whenever he has a batch available, I always order a bunch of them. But Nomad sauce, smoking green on top. All right, let's chow down. Super chat coming in from Charles Serratos. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys for hanging in while I make some dinner, feed myself. And so here's what we got tonight. So you guys can see, I hope if you take anything away, I hope you see that it's not that difficult to, if you want to, eat healthy while you're being a nomad. You don't have to eat fast food. You don't have to live at, off McDonald's. You can have the good stuff. It's not that difficult. It doesn't take that long. So here's what we got. We got our ground beef with our DIY mashed potatoes with some onions, some Nomad green sauce. And then over here we have our cucumber salad with some chopped onions and salt and pepper, oil and vinegar, side by side. I think that's a pretty healthy combination. Not too expensive. So those mashed potatoes, I'm gonna move the microphone so you don't hear me eating. Um, so this meal is really cheap. Like for example, these mashed potatoes, that entire box that I had, those are only $1.99 at Walmart. They're really cheap. And you could get, easily a week's worth of mashed potatoes out of one box for 1.99. And then this ground beef, I got it at grocery outlet. Now it's the bougie stuff, it's organic, but it was only $6 a pound at grocery outlet. You can get you can get the regular ground beef if you want, probably cheaper, but I only used probably a quarter of that pound. So I could make, probably three more of these out of that, one packet of ground beef. And then I just have those English cucumbers, which are like 1.99 a piece. So pretty cheap dinner. And it's healthy and it's filling and you feel good about it. I like it. We did good tonight, guys. All right, let me hop back in the chat, see what's going on. Yeah, dude, Cruz, grocery outlet is the best place. They have crazy deals. Everything like you can get some crazy deals on stuff. Um, and they have good quality food. I mean, they have organic meats. They have, and it depends which grocery outlet. There's like different levels of them, but some of them have this like organic aisle inside the grocery outlet. It's called like, I think it's called Nosh, and it's this whole aisle that's nothing but like organic and gluten free and vegan. It's all the like, the different types of health food people like. And so if you have a grocery outlet with that aisle, it's even more premium. And if you guys buy water, so if you know these Crystal Geyser gallons, if you buy this at a regular grocery store, 1 gallon is like $1.50. Uh, yeah, like $1.30 to $1.50. But I got these at grocery outlet in California a couple of weeks ago, and they were only 99 cents. So the water's cheap. It's all cheap. I love grocery outlet. The thing is, they only have them on the West Coast though. Maybe Nevada, but basically Oregon, Washington, California, maybe Idaho. Texas Hemi 99 says the salad looks good. I want to add baby carrot and cilantro. That sounds good. Yeah, I love cilantro. Um, I hadn't thought about that, but I should add some. Cilantro and baby carrot would be good to add next time. Mm, it's so good. And what's cool about this salad is it's almost like a marinade. So if you leave the vegetables in there, like the longer you leave them there, the more they get softer. They still get crunchy, but they're a little softer, and the the oil and vinegar like gets absorbed into the vegetable. So like I'll leave this in the fridge overnight, and by tomorrow, when I eat it again, it's even better. It's actually better the next day after it's been like sitting marinating all night. So super excited about it. I'll definitely add cilantro and carrots next time. John C likes Trader Joe's. I hear you, man. Trader Joe's has some good stuff. I like their mango slices. Trader Joe's does a good job of having things like prepackaged, like their mango slices, all their dried fruits, their nuts.
They have like a whole wall of trail mix. They got some pretty good stuff. And then they have like potato salads and macaroni salads that are pre-made that are pretty good. So I'm going back to the chat. I'm looking at a chat from Velo Tilt. Says I bought a Peterbilt 25-foot box. It's got a Maxon lift gate. He's building a condo 12 by 8 inside and a 12 by 8 garage. That sounds pretty sweet. He says, I hope you can do solar. Yeah, I'd love to help you out. Yeah, I love the bigger box trucks. That's what Zach Zeller has. He has the 24 or 26-foot box truck. It's huge inside. I like that you're breaking it down into two sections. You got a condo and a garage. I definitely toyed around with the idea of getting a full size box truck, like a 26 foot, with an international cab chassis. But for me, I think that's a little too much because I still need to be able to drive around to people's, you know, houses and do installs. And it's one thing to park a 16-foot box truck, Isuzu NPR. It's only 23 feet bumper to bumper. But a 25-foot box, by the time you add the full size semi cab, you're probably at least 35 feet bumper to bumper plus the max on lift. So for me, that wouldn't work out. But I like the choice. I like the platform. Um, I would definitely consider something like that if I was going to be just doing Nomad, like off grid, like traveling between Arizona and Oregon, something like that. You could definitely make that happen. That'd be pretty sweet. Diana Sailor likes Sprouts. Me too. I just went there a couple days ago. They got good vegetables and fruit. I bought some apples at Sprouts. Going back to the chat, Jono is in the chat. Says I'm still at the beginning phase of my GMC Savannah. I can't seem to resolve the leak in the corner overhang where my bed will go. I'm curious about that. um, so one thing I would tell you, here's what I would do, Jono. Let me pull up a picture first. I'm gonna pull up a picture. Um, I'm assuming you have the GMC Savannah with a cab over because you mentioned overhang. So I'm assuming it has a cab over. But I'll show you what I'm thinking on that leak. I had a leak on this one when I first bought it. But maybe it doesn't have a cab over. I'm not really seeing. Jono, tell me if it has a. Does it have a cab over like mine? It has the grandma's attic in front. Where's your leak at? Okay, I'm gonna use this as an example. I'm gonna show you what's going on. Okay, okay. Jono says yes, cab over. Let me see if I can find. I didn't know they did GMC Savannahs with cab overs. Maybe like this. Anyway, regardless of the vehicle, here's what I would do. Um, I would. Let me see if I can get a shot of the roof. Hold on. Show you what I did. Now it's going to vary a little bit from vehicle to vehicle. Um, I don't know if I can find a roof shot. let me just look for a box truck roof, and I'll show you. I'll show you a couple things to look at. I was trying to find a an image of it, but I might not be able to find one. Okay, I'll use this as an example. So this is basically the same box truck I have, very similar. So on these box trucks, if it has the metal like the aluminum sheeting roof, there's going to be rivets all down the side of the roof. So there'll be rivets all the way down here, and there's going to be rivets all the way across the front. So I would get some mastic tape. It's like a tape, you can get it on Amazon, translucent roof. Well, that's fine too. If you have the translucent roof, you're still gonna have um, an edge on the side where the translucent part your meets the edge. So I would get some mastic tape and I would tape uh, the whole edges of the roof, just in general. Anybody that gets a box truck, you should tape the seams where the flat piece of metal meets your curved corners or whatever your edge piece is. And so you can get that on Amazon. I'll show you what it looks like. Hold on. Like a 2 inch. You don't even need 2 inch. You could get like 1 inch. Let's see. What do we call that? Eternabond? Hold on. Give me a second. Eternabond. Here's one. So this is 1.5 inches by 50 feet. But basically, if you get a roll of this, and you have to do the math, you might need 2 rolls of it. But I would get some of this tape, and it has like a gasket type material on the back side. It's not a regular tape, it's thick. And so there's a plastic coating on one side, a gasket material on the other side. And so I would run that tape all along the upper seams of your roof. And then see how it does. And then the next thing you can look at is if you have these end caps and also the lights, if you have lights up in the cab, you can get a caulking gun and get some type of like a silicone sealant, or you can get a Dicor sealant and use a caulking gun and just seal all the rivets and the gaps on this because your roof is actually made of multiple different pieces. And then something else I had to do is I even had to seal uh, the edge here. If you see where it comes down, I put sealant on the edge here and on the edge here as well. So I would encourage you uh, to look at all the gaps in the different pieces of material, and I would try to seal all those. And probably somewhere there's a leak that's letting water in. I had that problem with my truck when I first bought it, this one here, before I built it out. And after I taped the roof and then sealed those corner panels on the overhang, all the leaks went away. Yeah, so I'm just now reading your chat, Jono. Um, yeah, I would use that Eternabond tape from Amazon because it's like a thick gasket. So it's not like regular plastic tape that just has a little bit of glue on it. This stuff's thick. So when you push it on and use your finger, it'll squeeze down into any gaps. So I would put that over it. And then additionally, I would get some kind of a caulking gun, or if you don't mind the aesthetics of it, you could use that tape on the vertical surface, but I would just go over all the seams because one of those seams somewhere is leaking. Either it's the seam itself or it's the little rivet that connects to the seam. So if you do that, uh, you'll take care of it. We still got 63 soldiers in the chat and 59 thumbs up. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you for hanging in tonight. I think I'm going to wrap things up. We've been going for almost 2 hours. We talked about box trucks and build outs and electrical, and we talked about um, all kinds of stuff. We made dinner tonight. We tried out instant mashed potatoes with a tea kettle, and it worked out perfect. I see Diana Saylor in the chat. Let's see what Diana Saylor has to say. Question: are you able to make electrical accessories for solar generators for diesel heaters? Um, so Diana Saylor is asking about running a diesel heater off a solar generator. The problem is, and this is why I recommend to do full custom electrical, power stations don't put out enough amps to run a diesel heater at 12 volts. Hi, Island Guy. I see your messages. Happy to have you here. Thank you for joining us. We're just about to wrap up, brother. We've been going for 2 hours, but please go back and catch the replay. It was a good one. Diana Saylor, what you're going to have to do in order to run a diesel heater off a power station is you're going to have to get um, a power converter that uh, converts 120 volts into 12 volts. That's the only way to do it because power stations are basically all their output is at 120 volts. So I'm happy to help you with that. Oh, Nomad Tim. Yeah, Nomad Tim, drop a link in. Um, Diana Saylor, I'm happy to help you with that. All you need is a power converter that goes from 12 volts to 120 volts. I can find one for you. I don't have one for sale, but I can just find one on Amazon that you can buy. Uh, 12 volt to 120 volt. I guess that would technically be an. Wait a minute. Let me think about this. We're going from we're going from 120 to 12 volts. 120 to 12 volts. So you would need, let's see, but you're gonna want like 20 amps. Yeah, so that's not too crazy. Hang in there, Diana. Hold on. 20 amps. 20 amps. Peace out, Scott. Appreciate you being here, brother. Amazon. 120 volt to 12 volt DC power supply. Let's get a 20 amp. 20 amps for Diana Saylor. 30 amp. Did they make a 20 amp? Well, here's a 30 amp. Does that come with a wall plug? What's going on? 30 amp. Here's one. Okay, I'm going to drop this in the chat. Let's see. AC to DC converter, 12 volt, 30 amps. 120 volts AC to DC. Yes, that's what you need. Okay, let me share this. Copy link. Okay, go back to the chat. Hold on, here we go. Okay, here it is. Nomad Tim, I don't see nothing, bro. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so what this is, I just dropped it in the chat. What this is if you look at it, it has a regular 120 volt wall plug. So you would plug that into your power station, Diana Saylor, and then uh, your diesel heater comes with a wire harness that has a positive and negative ring terminal on it. And so you would take the positive and negative from your diesel heater and you would put it right onto the positive and negative terminals of this power supply. Exactly where it's showing, like in the main picture, it's showing the jumper cables. You would just put it right there. That's it. Easy peasy. So it's a little bit of a workaround. It's a little, a little bulky, but it'll get the job done. And it's really the only way you can run a diesel heater um, off of power station. Now, if I will say this, hold on, Diana Saylor, did you already buy a diesel heater, or do you not have it yet? Because if you haven't bought it yet, they make diesel heaters that come with a wall plug for 120 volts. No. Okay. So I just did all that because I assumed you had a diesel heater, but you can just buy one that they already include that box. Hold on, I'll show you. Diesel heater, 120 volts. I know because I was looking for one today. I was putting together estimate for Scott for his box truck, and I just stumbled across one that was 120 volts. Let's see what's a good deal here. Hold on, bear with me here. And this is just through Amazon. Uh, now, Diana Saylor, have you been looking at diesel heaters already? Are I assume you just want the one that's already built, like in a box, and you just, you know, set it down, right? And you have everything you need built in. So I'm gonna link, yes. Okay, perfect. Yes. So that I'm gonna link you to this one. I think it's a pretty good choice. It includes that power supply, so you can plug it directly into your power station, into the 120-volt plug. And then um, there's one that's a little more expensive, but it has the Bluetooth app, which is just so much easier to use. I recommend the ones with the app because you can just turn it on and off from your phone. So like when you wake up in the morning, you open your iPhone and just click it on and off. I'm gonna drop this in the chat. Hold on. Uh, let's see, where are we at? Share, share, and then it also still has a regular, like the wall plug. So if you guys are looking for a diesel heater to run off a power station, I would get something like this. It's a little bit more. It's 180 bucks versus like uh you know the basic diesel heaters you can get them for like 110 bucks, but you could see that power converter, if you buy that by itself, it's 50 bucks anyway. So this heater, it's all in one, it's all in a box. You don't have to install a fuel pump and a fuel filter. It's ready to go. It's got the wall plug. So all you have to do is just plug it into your power station, use the smartphone, and you'll have to cut two holes in the floor. You'll cut one for the intake, one for the exhaust, but pretty simple to do. I believe in you, Diana. You can do it. Okay, that's it for me. I'm done. I hope that helps. If you have more questions, Diana, just feel free to reach out. I'll take care of you. That's it for me. I appreciate you guys for watching, being here tonight. We had a good time. We did all kinds of stuff. I have a video coming out Sunday that's all about stealth camping, and I'm sharing one of my favorite spots to stealth camp, which is a single parking lot with 3 hotels on it. So Nomad Brad went and stealth camped in a hotel parking lot. I cooked a delicious roast. We had a good time. So check it out. It goes live Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific. And I hope to see everybody here next Wednesday. And who knows what's going to be happening, but we'll be going live. So I'll see you then. I appreciate you guys for sticking around. Thank you for all the super chats, Real Cruise, Super Dave, Simple Box. And if I left somebody else out, I apologize, but I still appreciate you. That's it. Nomad Brad signing out from Yuma, Arizona. Peace.